With the second overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards drafted a big man from France. During his rookie season, throughout stretches of the year, he was able to really showcase his skills and talents. But this season, he's been able to take it to a whole nother level. In his name, it's Mr. Alex Sarr. Welcome to Basketball Intuition. I'm your host, Ethan Simon. Today, we're going to be talking about Mr. Alex Sarr of the Washington Wizards. I very briefly covered Alex Sarr last season, but today we're really going to be diving into his game. So I have a lot of things I'm really excited to talk to you about. If you want to know before we get started, just take a peek at the timestamps. So Alex Sarr is 20 years old, turning 21 in April, and the Wizards season is going to be over by then. So 20 years old for this whole year. He is listed at 7 feet tall with a 7'4" wingspan, great length. When we talk about his weight and his strength, that's a big thing that we know that Alex Sarr needs to continue growing, but he definitely put on some more muscle over this last offseason. Obviously, we're not talking about anything crazy, but it is much needed improvement. And the last thing real quick before we get to the rim finishing is his mentality this year has completely shifted. We are seeing a much more aggressive and decisive version of Alex Sarr, and it's the biggest reason why he's been as good as he has been. I don't love to start out with stats, but I feel like this is a really good way to lay the foundation for today. So last season, his rim frequency, meaning that how often he was getting and finishing at the rim, it was 28% of his shots. Now this season, it has shot up to 39%. He has cut back on the threes, and he's turned that into shots at the rim, which in my opinion is great. We are seeing the aggression and the confidence when it comes to finishing at the rim. A really cool way where we can see this aggression is per NBA.com stats. 23 dunks so far throughout the season in 12 games. This is being filmed before the Nets game on Sunday, so I can't speak on that, which means he's averaging 1.9 dunks per game. Last season, he had 64 total dunks in 67 games, 0.95 dunks a game. So he is not only just getting to the rim and putting these layups in like he was last season, he is going up, rising up, and dunking the basketball. And that's the kind of fear that you want to put into other defenders as a big man, knowing that if you step under that rim, you're going to have the opportunity to get dunked on. Not only is he just getting to the rim more often, he is also finishing at the rim more efficiently. 23rd percentile rim percentage last year, but this year 68th percentile. And sorry for saying so many stats off the rip. We're laying this foundation. Now we're going to talk about actually, how he's getting these shots. So as most of us know, post-ups and face-ups is how he's going to get to the rim mainly. Also off of dribble handoffs and pick and rolls whenever he's diving in and slipping in the inside off of a screen. But we're going to dive into the pick and roll and dribble handoffs more in a minute, but I want to talk about, what he's doing at the rim. The biggest thing I've enjoyed and the biggest jump that I personally have seen that really caught my eye is his patience in the lane this year. This is something we got to see more as the year progressed last season. Instead of throwing up these dumb shots, he is being more decisive and more patient. He is using more pump fakes, more head fakes. We've seen him pull an acceleration and deceleration move. Like, he is actually starting to slow the game down. And also what lays on top of that is last season there were points where it felt like he didn't want contact, where he was avoiding contact. This season he is not avoiding contact nearly as much, and he is playing like he's a big man. And of course a reason for that is because his weight last season wasn't great. And this season, it's not anything crazy, and like he put on 30 pounds, but this is something we're going to see get better and better and better as time goes on, as he puts on more weight, gets more reps, more confidence. We're going to see Alex Sarr, in my opinion, I will say this right now, we will see Alex Sarr develop and progress every season. He is that type of guy. And real quick, sorry for the bunny trail, whatever it's called. People forget he was the second overall pick. So many people hate Alex Sarr. There are literally Twitter accounts that's literally whole purpose is to hate on Alex Sarr. But people forget he was a second overall pick. Like, there was a reason this guy went second overall. Now adding on top of that, putting more into this, the footwork. This is something that, if you've watched Alex Sarr play before, if you know him from before he got to the NBA, his time last season in the NBA, rookie year, you know that Alex Sarr's footwork is very advanced for his size and for his age already. And this is one of the big things that you got when you drafted Alex Sarr off the rip. But my favorite ones that we've seen so far through this year is those spin moves. And another thing is when he gets to that hook shot, when he gets to his right shoulder off the spin on that hook shot, that's barbecue chicken. He's not shooting the hook shot very efficiently so far through the season. Per NBA.com, he's shooting 40% on hook shots. And then we look at another guy who shoots a lot of hook shots like Zubac. Zubac is shooting 56%, so there is a large difference there. But it's a really good shot for Alex Sarr, taking advantage of his length at the rim. Another thing that I want to add on, which is helping him finish at the rim and get easy looks, is he is following up his misses on the offensive glass, and he is diving into the offensive glass much more this season. No Mitchell Robinson, I'm not coming up here saying that, but he's better than he was last season. Really, on every level, he is better than he was last season. And the last thing before we get to dribble handoffs, pick and roll and stuff that I wanted to talk about, he doesn't seem as scared to attack other bigs and go at them. He was going at Karl Anthony Towns. He was going at Joel Embiid. He wouldn't do that last season. And also doing better, not incredible, but better, using his length against mismatches. He's not a bully ball, like get a switch onto a smaller guy and just bully you down. He's going to use his length and go over top of you. And sometimes we've seen him do a good job of doing that. Sometimes we haven't. He did a really, if we're being real, he did a really bad job against the Pistons and Cade Cunningham. I want to put... I'm thinking Christmas, but I think it's a little early. When do y'all start celebrating Christmas? But I just feel like it's a little early to rep Christmas in a video. Now, friends, if you're still here and enjoying the video, make sure to hit the like button. You don't have to if you don't want to. I really appreciate it. I've seen the hypes thing now. You can like hype a video. I don't fully understand, but if you want to do that too, I'd appreciate you greatly. But yeah, back to the video. Now, the next topic we will be talking about is the dribble handoffs and the pick and roll. They are using him to initiate plays in the offense more often this season. They're putting him in those dribble handoffs, putting him in those pick and rolls, giving him the ball at the top of the key and letting him make decisions. And it's been very enjoyable. He's no Jokic or anything like that. He's no Derek Queen with the playmaking in that kind of area, but we've seen him make a lot of really good reads in that place. We're going to dive into more of that in a minute, but he's getting a lot of really easy dunks and good looks on the inside out of those dribble handoffs and pick and roll because of his timing and positioning on the roll. Those quick slips to the basket. And sometimes one of the big things with Alex Sarr, real quick, if he had like a real point guard, then he would get so many more easy looks. But like the Wizards give a lot of really bad entry passes to him and they won't find him on his slips to the inside. But he's doing what he can. He does have a good two-man game with Chris Middleton and CJ. Chris is a great pick and roll passer. So they definitely have a good game together. And also another thing that's really grabbed me in those dribble handoffs, he's just doing a great job. I don't know what you really call this, but at being that cone and dragging the defenders away from the three-point line with his screens off the handoff, just to give his teammates enough room to get that easy three off. You're going to see what I'm talking about when I put it on the screen. We need to define what a moving screen is, by the way. I feel like refs call it so inconsistently. But yeah, passing, like I was saying a minute ago, he is doing a really good job at making those good bounce passes, those pocket passes out of the dribble handoff, little give and go type possessions in that area as well that we've seen him do really good at. Now, diving more into the playmaking and ball handling, this is something that we saw progress last season as it went on, especially in the last month of the season. We saw him be much better with the playmaking. And this is just a trend for Alex Sarr. He's just getting better. Now, I'll go ahead and start with some bad things so you don't think that I'm just up here glazing. His accuracy is extremely inconsistent. Sometimes he'll give a solid pass in the general vicinity enough for them to get a good shot off. But then other times he's not even hitting. He's just a bad pass. So his vision is solid. He doesn't have Jokic or anything like that vision, but his vision is very solid, but his accuracy is really not very consistent and good at all. And another thing is he still has the stupid Alex Sarr turnovers that we saw last season. His usage is up and his turnovers are as well with that. But we still are getting dumb Alex Sarr turnovers. A good amount of those is he gets ripped up a lot. His hands aren't incredible. His handle it's all right. I just would like to see him keep growing the strength and control with the ball in his hands. And again, just getting his hands better in general so it doesn't get ripped up as much as he does. But do some good things. Like I mentioned earlier, he is finding the cutters more often this season on the baseline or out of the dribble handoff, give and goes, that type of stuff. And my absolute favorite place where we get to see him as a passer is whenever he gets in the middle of the defense. This is where bigs are the most effective in the middle of a defense as passers. And he does a really good job passing out of the short roll, passing to the dunker spot, those quick bounce passes when the big comes up. And again, it's not like he's averaging like 10 assists a game or anything crazy like that, but you can see the improvement. It is visible. Now we talk about the shooting. This is where I want to cover next. If you know me well, if you just came from the Derek Queen last video, you might not know this as much about me. I love all of you, by the way. Thank you so much for the support on the last video. I really appreciate you. The mid-range game is just like my favorite thing on offense. Like at all. It just does something in me. It just moves me. I'm a big fan of his post fades and his footwork in that area is really good for his age. I just love the fadeaways. He's shooting them confidently as well. He's hit some really tough contested fades. Tough to block. Like you can't really block it. He's 7'4". I mean, he's got a 7'4" wingspan. Still though, he's Alex Sarr. He does airball like every other game, or have a really ugly miss. But that's a part of the Alex Sarr experience. We hope in time he'll be able to cut that out a little bit. But per NBA.com, he's shooting 46% on pull-up twos so far this season. I'm happy with that. I'm ecstatic with that. And let's talk about his frequencies real quick. Like I mentioned earlier, he's not shooting as many threes. So he's shooting 18% less threes. 38% of his shots last year were threes. Now it's only 20%. 11% of that went to the rim. and the rest of that went to mid-range shots. I mean, he was averaging 5 threes a game last season. Now it's 3 threes a game this season, and he's shooting 5% better from 3. And we dive more into the 3-point shot. He's shooting 37.5% on catch and shoot threes, but 20% on pull-ups. Obviously, he doesn't shoot with so many pull-ups, but I really like that catch and shoot number. And we talk about Alex Sarr's mechanics. They're really solid. He kind of flares his arms out on the follow-through, but other than that, it's cool. It works. It gets the job done. And one thing that I noticed, I'm sure other people have noticed this as well, when he doesn't have to rush his shot and he's just wide open, he does a good job at knocking them down. Per NBA.com, 36% of his shots when he's wide open, he hits them. But then whenever he's getting contested or rushed on his shot, he's shooting 28%. Now, the last section we're going to cover today is the defense. Now, I have some disclaimers before we dive into this. There's only but so much one man can do on a terrible defense. The Wizards are the second worst team when it comes to defense in the entire NBA. He is being asked to do way more than he is capable of doing. The Wizards also allow the second most shots at the rim in the entire NBA. Again, there's only but so much one man can do. Now, he's doing a great job at blocking those shots. He's third in blocks this season with 2.3 blocks a game, only behind Kalkbrenner and Wembanyama. Stop! But the Wizards switches communication for the Wizards is garbage. The guards in pick and rolls, they don't communicate well. And the forwards, the Wizards scheme, the Wizards defensively suck. So again, there's only but so much the man can do. But if we talk about, him individually as a defender, so a negative thing that we'll talk about, this is obvious. He doesn't have but so much strength. Shea literally put his shoulder into him, and Alex Sarr went flying back against the Thunder earlier in this season. So he's got to keep putting on more weight. He needs more strength to limit those as much as possible so he can be that anchor of a defense, because he has the length and the timing to be, that anchor of your defense, but he doesn't have the strength. So once he does that, I'm going to be feeling better. But as an individual defender, he is pretty switchable at his size. Like against Shea, for example, he had some really good possessions on Shea, but he also had some really bad ones as well. And then this kind of plays into the Wizards' terrible defense. He does overhelp sometimes, but the thing is he kind of has to, because the Wizards suck so bad, so they need help, and Alex Sarr is their best defender. Some really great moments as a help side shot blocker, as we know. Also, on the ball, he's a really good shot blocker as well. I don't even feel like I can talk about him as a pick and roll defender, because it's the team communicates terribly. A lot of the guards can't get around a screen to save their life. So it's I don't even want to talk about that. Is that productive? I don't know. I think you get my point though. I think I've said it enough, but I'll say it one more time. The Wizards defensively, they suck. What else he's struggling with is those finessey bigs. He falls for the Embiid pump fakes. Şengün's acceleration and deceleration and his rip throughs and stuff like that, and the ball fakes. He's thirsty for the blocks, and that's another thing. Last season, 2.2 fouls a game. This season, 1.8. So it's better. It's definitely better so far this season. So rookie year, 3% foul percentage, which was the 73rd percentile, which isn't even terrible. But this season, ranked among bigs, he's the 99th percentile. The only person that's in front of him when it comes to foul percentage is Jared Allen with 1.9 as his foul percentage. But then whenever he's playing those really skilled guards and big men like Şengün, Embiid, Cade Cunningham was drawing him into a bunch of fouls, and really high tier guys like that. Other than that, he really does a good job at playing straight up defense. And then the biggest thing, defense and rebounding kind of play hand in hand. He's been on the defensive glass more often this season. He's crashing the glass more, which you just love to see from him. But if I had to sum up this whole video, when it comes to rim finishing, we need more strength. His touch around the rim is good for the most part. The confidence is growing, the decisiveness is growing, the patience is growing. Playmaking is improved. We need to cut back on the dumb turnovers. Ball handling definitely needs to continue to improve. The shooting is looking much better this season. I'm loving the mid-range game that we're seeing from him. 3-point shooting. He is going from more of a volume guy to more of an efficiency guy, which I really like. I don't love volume shooting bigs. I more prefer an efficiency shooting big. My closing points on the Wizards will be, I don't like their coach. Player development, he's doing a solid job. But scheme and defensive stuff, really, that's my main problem defensively. they suck so terribly. And the communication piece, like, you can blame it on having young guys. And yeah, that's a really great excuse. You can't really have a much better one than that. But it gets to a point where it's like, what do y'all do in practice? What do y'all do defensively in practice? So yeah, I don't want to talk about the Wizards anymore. Shout out to the GOAT, Chris Middleton. Real quick, comment of the day. My favorite comment from the previous video, or really just any comment that I want to do. Dub SeaWorld had me weak with this comment, and I want to let all the Pels fans know from the last video, I am going to be making my Jeremiah Fears video next. Right after, I'm going to be working on it, tomorrow after I post this video. But he asked me to do a Fears video, said he'd Venmo me. I'm like, don't Venmo me no money. No one's Venmoing me any money. I'm not letting anybody do that. But I just thought that was really funny. And I'll put a couple more people up on the screen that were talking good about Jeremiah Fears, and I'll tag y'all and let y'all know that I'm going to be doing Fears next video. But yeah, so much love on the last video. That's the best performing video I've had in a couple months. So it was good for my heart, good for my soul. I really appreciated that from y'all. I love you guys so much. Y'all are so kind and so generous with your comments. I'm gonna hit y'all with a verse of the day today. Luke 1:37 is where we're at today. For nothing will be impossible with God. And another translation says, for the word of God will never fail. It is a reminder that sometimes in life it may seem like you're taking an L, but then you just gotta trust the process and see what comes of that, quote unquote, that L that you took. Because God is really good at taking bad things and turning them into good. Let me pull up Psalm real quick. Psalm 34:18, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Verse 22, the Lord redeems the life of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him will be condemned. Life gets tough. It's always going to work out. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family and your friends if you have any. I hope you're doing good. If you're not doing good, I hope it truly does get better for you very soon. Jesus loves you all. I love you all as well. He loves you more than I do. Super excited to keep working on this Jeremiah Fears video that I'm going to get out to y'all hopefully Thursday, Friday area. Let me know any more video ideas, suggestions that you might have. Typically, I only do first, second year players. One more time, I love you all. Thank you so much again for your support on the last video. It means the world to me. And I'm going to see you guys very soon in the next video. Peace out, man.